You're listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
Hello, pet parents. This is Michelle Fern, host of Best Bets for Pets on PetLifeRadio.com. All right, this show is especially for all of you dog lovers, all the dog parents out there. What do you do when you are just pulling your hair out? Your puppy or your adult or senior dog needs a toy, something different, and you just don't know what to do. Okay, you wouldn't believe the products I have coming up. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Sit. Stay. We'll be right back after a short pause. Well, 4 to be exact.
It's dinner time in America, where more pet parents trust PetSmart for natural and expert recommended foods than any place else. And now, we've added more than 100 new varieties to our already wide selection of your favorite brands, like Simply Nourish, Authority, Wellness, Science Diet, and more. Do what's best for your pet. At PetSmart, happiness in store.
Go to PetSmartDeal.com to find out this week's coupon code and save up to 30% on food, treats, toys, and more. And get free shipping on orders of $49. Go to PetSmartDeal.com, PetSmartDeal.com.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back, everyone. I'd like to introduce Kyle Hansen. He is the founder of Kyjen. Welcome, Kyle.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Wonderful to have you. Now, everybody that's listening, they might know your products, but they're like, what's Kyjen? Can you tell our listeners, what is Kyjen?
Yes, the name of Kyjen comes from my name, Kyle, and my wife, Jennifer. So you put the beginning of those first two names together, and you get Kyjen for Kyle and Jennifer.
And what is your company about? You know, we gave a little teaser about some of the dog products, and you have a lot of unique products. But maybe you could just give us an overview, and then we could talk about a few of the products that you have.
Yeah, we're all about keeping dogs active and engaged. So we really want to make things that get dogs out of the house and keep them busy in the house, and things where you can interact with your dog both indoors and outdoors. And we think as a result of that, dogs are going to have a better life and their parents are going to have a better life and everybody's going to win. So that's really what we're all about.
Well, you have some really unique products. Now, a couple of them, my test crew, Mr. Z and Nikki, tried out. And the Slow Bowl, if I have the name correctly. Yes. Okay, that Correct. Was great for Nikki. He's a little dog, but he's always eating so fast. I'm afraid he's going to be doing, I guess we can call it number 3 on the carpet, because they never do that on the tile. It's always on the carpet. And
yes.
And you also have a great product, Invincibles, which, you know, my dogs, they're not such a big fan of squeaky toys or anything, but Nikki, that was around him constant. He would not let it go. That's his, like, baby now. I mean, he loves it. Now, when listeners are probably saying, okay, what are those things? And you have Egg Baby, and you have all kinds of cool toys. So let's talk about a couple of them. Let the listening audience know what they're about.
Okay, well, first off is the Slow Bowl that you mentioned, and really there's a big problem with dogs that eat too fast. So, like you said, it ends up coming out as number 3, and like you said, it can always, for some reason, it happens to be on the carpet instead of the tile. But anyway, it really slows dogs down, so it's healthier for them to eat slower, just like it is for us adults to eat slower. But we found that, you know, they can't talk to us directly, but they actually learn to enjoy their food better. So they really slow down, and instead of just taking just big mouthfuls and eating their food. I have a big yellow lab, and he eats his food in like 30 seconds. Now he eats his food in like 6 or 7 minutes. So Jennifer, my wife, her comment is, man, I think he's really enjoying his meals now. And it's healthier for him to not eat so fast. So it's kind of like fun for them to eat, and we're, kind of look at it as like a fun feeder. And in nature and wild, wolves and animals, they forage for their food. So I think this is more natural rather than putting a regular bowl in front of a dog and they just eat it in like 30 seconds. So it's really a combination of benefits, and that's pretty much what the slow bowl is.
And for all you listeners, I don't know, how would you describe it, Kyle? It's like a puzzle in a bowl, a maze in a bowl.
Kind of like, and we, kind of inspired by nature, really. We have a design that looks like a coral called a coral, and then we have a flower. So there's, and a drop that's kind of like a raindrop. So it kind of is all tied back in together of, it looks a little bit like a puzzle, but it's, the natural way to eat. So we kind of thought, let's get it inspired by nature with the designs and how the designs look. So it's kind of hard to describe, but if you Google slow bowl, you'll probably find our slow bowl. So that's SLO-bowl instead of SLOW.
Well, they're really cool, and it was great to see Nicky slow down for a change and eat, and yeah, he looked pretty satisfied and like he had a good time eating, so that was good. Now, let's talk. You have so many different great products on your site to talk about. Now, the Invincibles. Let's tell listeners about what are the Invincibles.
Okay, well, with, dogs love soft toys. A lot of owners go, well, my dog destroys them too fast. Well, I think in nature also dogs like to try to kill, unfortunately. That's not necessarily a great word, but they like to try to kill these things. They think they're animals. So they're instinctively trying to get the squeakers out. That's just what they do, right? So we know that people are spending their precious money on soft toys, so we definitely are on a mission to make them last longer and to make sure the dogs have fun with them. So we've made a indestructible squeaker, or more indestructible, not completely indestructible, but a durable squeaker called an Invincible, or the toy's called an Invincible, with invincible squeakers, and they just last longer. You could puncture them in test marketing with a knife or a screwdriver, but with dogs' teeth, they can get their teeth in them and try to destroy them, but they keep squeaking. So they last a really long time. It extends the playtime of the toy. And also the main product is a snake. So we have snakes and geckos. But there's something about the shape of the snake where dogs really like the long length, and a lot of dogs like to put it in their mouths and shake it all around. And once again, I think it's more of an instinct on how dogs like to play with this toy. That is just a really good fit for them. So the dogs instinctually have a lot of fun, and the owners are a lot happier because they've got a toy that lasts way longer than almost every other soft toy out there in the market.
Nicky had a great time with it, and he just, even though he wasn't always trying to kill it, he always had it near him. It was like, it's like his little baby now. I mean, it's always next to him. It's just hysterical.
What we found is that a lot of dogs, not only they play with the toy, but they, the scent, a lot of times their owner gets on the toy. So not only like to play with the toy, but sometimes the toy becomes like their little buddy, or even kind of like a little blankie. So then they end up taking their toy with them wherever they go in the house, and that toy becomes their little buddy or their security blanket. So just a little side note on our toys.
That's a much better way to put it. Thank you.
Yep.
Kyjen seems to have a lot of toys that are made with, the dog in mind, and, let's not just make this cute fluffy or cute thing because the dog parent likes it, but it's really for the dog and destined for what the dog's needs are.
Yep.
Is that like, in a nutshell, basically the Kyjen, motto, what you try to do?
We try to think of the owner, but we really do think of the dog and test things with dogs, and don't just, make a product and then start selling it. We really like to test it and like to think differently. And sometimes we get ideas from the children's business and kids' toys, because after all, the dogs are kids and they don't talk back. And so there is a lot of just inspiration from a variety of places. But we really do I think a lot of times the owners and, of course, the dogs, they don't really know what they want. So it's our job to do the research and to really think about what they might want, and whether that's working with some trainers and behaviorists and looking at what they might give for animals that are in zoos to replicate what was in the wild. There's some zoo animal toys. So we just kind of get inspiration and ideas from a variety of places that we think really is beneficial to the dogs.
Now, speaking of that, let's tell everybody out there listening, what are egg babies? One
of our other better selling lines of soft toys are egg babies, and we also have a hide a squirrel, which is really a bestseller like the egg babies. And that is another way to make a soft toy last longer, where the egg babies are all animals that lay eggs. And inside a elastic pouch is actual eggs. So the dog is playing with the toy, and they actually pull the squeakers out. But so, as I said earlier when talking about the Invincibles, they'd like to try get these squeakers and kill the toy. Well, this way they can kind of kill the toy and get the eggs out. But guess what? Once those eggs are all out, you can open up the elastic pouch and put them back in again and keep going. So it's to extend the life of the toy and to think about how dogs like to play with toys. We have a similar situation with the hide a squirrel, and these are all kind of part of what we call our puzzle plush line. And they like to get the squirrels out of a tree trunk. And then when they get the squirrels out of the tree trunk, you can put the squirrels back in. So dogs love squirrels. They love to chase squirrels at least. And it's just another way to make a toy that lasts a lot longer that's really fun for the animals. Both those products we've been selling for over 10 years. So they've definitely proven themselves, and they have kind of a crazy following up there in the marketplace.
Wow, they sound like a lot of fun. What is your dog's favorite toy?
Well, he's pretty spoiled. He gets to test and play with a lot of toys. But I think he likes another unique toy we make. It's called a squeaker mat. And we got that idea from bubble wrap. When my kids were younger, they always liked to not play with the toy, but they liked to play with the bubble wrap that came in the box that the toy came in. So that gave us an idea to create our own version of bubble wrap for dogs, which is a squeaker mat. So we have these big, long, Gator is the favorite of my dog, and he likes a Gator squeaker mat. So if he destroys one squeaker, well, there's 15 to go. So we have different squeaker mats with different numbers of squeakers, but his favorite is a 16 squeaker Gator squeaker mat.
Oh my God, that's fantastic. And that's so true. Anytime you're sending a package, or I remember, with my little nephew bringing him something and it's all in bubble wrap. And what did he like? The bubble wrap. The toy got kind of ignored, but it's the bubble wrap. And my dogs like to step on the bubble wrap too. So the squeaker mat is something I need to add to my list. So Kyle, you have a lot of great information on the Kyjen blog, and you talk about all these different ways you give back, which are fabulous. Why does Kyjen do it? How'd you get started, and what are the different ways you give back?
Yeah, we just, I think, start small and just kind of build, and we try to give back in a way where it makes a meaningful difference. We're based in Colorado, and there's some very big, really well-known animal charities. And yes, we try to support and work with them, but we try to choose who we work with, and there's some smaller ones that don't get much attention, and we think that they're more appreciative and we can make a bigger difference. So, for example, there's a charity out in inland Colorado a little bit that doesn't get a lot of attention, so we support where we can and where we can make a difference in just different areas. And we also try to do some things for kids. On Saturday, for example, we're going to have like a big brother, big sister, little sister thing with kids at our office and at our facility, warehouse and office, and kind of tell some kids there's some jobs in the pet industry, and they could be everything from a salesperson to a designer and what that might look like. And we're going to actually get them involved in what the process is in designing a toy, and actually let them design their own toy, and have our dogs here with them and just try to help out and get involved wherever we can and try to make a difference.
Well, it's always great to hear that. It's always great to hear of companies giving back, because, that's something really important too.
Yep, for sure.
Now, we've talked about Kyjen. My listeners know they could find out more on the Pet Life Radio website, under Best Bets for Pets, and on this segment of the episode. But let's tell our listeners, where can they find out more about Kyjen?
The best bet is just go to our website, and it is www.kyjen. So think of Jennifer, Kyle and Jennifer, not George. A lot of people type in Kygen, but it's Kyjen. And then also we have something that's interesting called the Woof Pack, and it's the Pet Parent Insight Group. So it's something that they can go to our website and consider signing up for, and look to getting some exclusive offers and be part of contests and giveaways, and have some good tips on how to better take care of your pet, and be part of our consumer insight group and get involved in helping us give some feedback in designing our products and be part of some future innovations that we develop.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for coming on Best Bets for Pets and telling us all about Kyjen and your amazing dog toys and dog products.
Thank you, and I appreciate you having me. I really appreciate that.
Thanks so much. I'd like to thank my testers, Nikki and Mr. Z, for testing the Kyjen Invisible and Slowball. Oh, they had an amazing time. I'd like to thank my guest, Kyle Hansen, for coming on Best Bets for Pets and telling us all about Kyjen. And my producer, I would like to thank my producer, Mark Winter, for making me and my guests sound great. And a special, huge thank you to all the pet parents, pet fanatics, pet lovers, dog lovers, all of you fur lovers out there that are listening. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. If you have any questions, comments, you can send me an email at michelle@petliferadio.com. You can find me on Twitter, Best Bets for Pets, or Michelle Fern, and just send me a message there. It's great to sign up for future contests and so forth. And you can also find me on Facebook. Thanks so much for listening. We'll be right back with another great show.
Sit. Stay. We'll be right back after a short pause. Well, 4 to be exact.
Dyson.
The new Dyson Animal Vacs are powerful bagless upright vacuums for homes with pets. Air muscle and radio root cyclone technology generates the strongest suction power to powerfully remove dust, dirt, and pet hair from the home or car. To order your Dyson Animal Vac, go to DysonDeals.com. DysonDeals.com to order your Dyson Animal Vac today.
Dyson. Music to your ears.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jeff Werber, host of Ask the Vets with Dr. Jeff here on Pet Life Radio. Please join us at our new time on Sundays at 9 a.m. Pacific Time and noon Eastern Time to talk about your pets.
Pet Life Radio, the #1 radio network on the planet, joins forces with iHeartRadio to put the power of your pets in your pocket. Awesome! Download the iHeartRadio app and rock Pet Life Radio on your phone, on your tablet, on your Xbox, in your car. Pet talk, pet tunes, and fun pet times. Pet Life Radio and iHeartRadio. Positively Possum.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back, everyone. Okay, here in the States, it is summertime. And summertime brings a lot of fun. And for some of our pet owners, it's a lot of challenges. Wait till you hear what we're talking about today. I'd like to introduce Josh Nelson. He's the Senior Brand Manager at Adams Pet Care. Welcome, Josh.
Thank you, Michelle.
In the States, we have summer. And summer brings a lot of fun for our pets, but also a lot of little creatures for our pets. So tell the guests a little bit about Adams Pet Care and what am I talking about with these little creatures?
Yeah, so Michelle, I think you're talking about fleas and ticks. And
Absolutely.
here at Adams, we have a lot of different ways that we can help folks combat the threat of fleas and ticks against their pets.
Why is it so important for summertime and with fleas and ticks? I mean, as pet parents, we can kind of guess, or we always experience it around this time of year. But why does summertime and heat bring out these little pests?
Essentially, it's somewhat of a wake-up call for the fleas and ticks that it's time to head out and feed. And what we like to do is make sure that those fleas and ticks aren't feeding on your pets as they like to this time of year.
We've mentioned a little bit about Adams. What does Adams do? What kind of pet products do you have, and what kind of flea and tick products do you have?
Great question, Michelle. What we provide is what we call smarter pet care solutions for pet parents. So primarily flea and tick control products that offer a smarter way to protect your pet because they protect more effectively and completely than other solutions available on the market. So for instance, our products include an ingredient we call Infestop, which is very important when considering flea control. Infestop actually kills the flea eggs and larvae, which prevents them from hatching and stops an entire new cycle of fleas from attacking your pets. So that's just one of the smart ways that we protect pets all over the country here in the U.S.
Now, Adams has AAA protection. What does that mean?
That means that we provide protection for not only your pet, but also protection for your home and for your yard. And so the key is that really without that full AAA protection, you're leaving your pet and your family vulnerable to attack from fleas and ticks. So the home, the surroundings in your home can be a place where flea eggs can hatch and become biting, breeding adults. Also, the yard, the exterior of your home provides a habitat that can allow fleas and ticks to thrive, latch on to your pets, and be brought into the house. So we think it's important that when you try to prevent flea and tick problems, you look at protecting not only your pet, but your home and your yard. And so we provide products that address those 3 areas.
So how does the flea and tick products from Adams differ from some of the other ones out there?
Yep. So outside of providing InfestStop, which we discussed earlier, and also the AAA protection solutions to protect your pet home and yard, we also have a really neat product innovation we call the Smart Shield Applicator that provides a more convenient and secure way to apply flea and tick control to your pet. It essentially, this patented device helps you get the liquid down to the skin, the topical flea and tick control liquid down to the skin where the bugs live, and keep it off your hands in the process. So just another smarter way to protect your family and your pet from fleas and ticks.
Okay, now you probably heard this one a lot. And most of us as pet owners have an idea, but why should we protect ourselves from fleas and ticks? First, our pets and cats and dogs, and why, for humans, why protect ourselves against fleas and ticks?
Yeah, well, not only are fleas and ticks irritating and annoying for your pet and your family when it comes to the scratching and the biting, but they're serious life-threatening problems that can be a direct result of flea or tick infestations and outbreaks, such as Lyme disease. That can be very dangerous for a pet or for the family, and so it's about preventing the problem rather than having to deal with it after the fact. So fleas and ticks are vectors for these diseases to find their way into your home, and the best way is to keep the fleas and ticks out of the home to prevent these diseases from making their way in.
Well, that sounds good to me. I've noticed lately a lot more ticks. Last season there seemed to be more than I've seen in years, and I'm hoping this season is not a repeat. Have you noticed, being an expert in this area, more of an increase?
Yeah, I think unfortunately as our population continues to encroach on the less developed areas, you're going to see that the deer that help bring the ticks to us are being squeezed into tighter and tighter spaces, and so unfortunately that drives the intensity of the tick threat up. Ironically, when I was growing up in Michigan, never really saw much of a tick threat at all. Didn't even consider it when I'd go and outdoors and go hiking or even just play outside. Then just recently moved to New England for some time, and all of a sudden you couldn't even think about stepping outside without considering the risk of a tick outbreak. And unfortunately, like I said, that macro trend of our population expanding its territory and diminishing the habitat for the deer population, I think you're going to see the risk of ticks and the threat continue to grow.
Well, that's something to be aware of. And as, pet parents and just, responsible pet owners, responsible human beings, and just for care for our family and ourselves and neighbors and whatever, we should definitely be aware of these things and, be aware of good ways to treat our pets. And I love that Adams has that really unique device. I hate getting the flea stuff on me. That I think it seeps into my skin. And you can't get a good grip with those rubber plastic, the little rubber things for your hands. So that device is wonderful.
Well, and Michelle, it all ladders up to being a good provider for your pet and your family, right? And that's why at Adams, we really strive to enable and empower pet owners to be just that. We provide not only products that empower better or smarter pet care, but it's kind of a state of mind for us. So if you go to our adamspetcare.com website, you'll see that it's just full of not only information about our products, but also information about how to be a smarter pet parent, how to take better care of your pets, in a variety of topic areas, not just flea and tick control.
Yes, I did see your site. There's a wealth of information. One last question, and then we're going to talk about your exciting contest. We talked about flea and tick control, especially in the summer, but shouldn't that be year-round? I mean, aren't there fleas and ticks year-round in most areas?
Yes, and that's a fantastic point. I think when we've gone out and interviewed and talked to pet owners about their flea and tick problems, one thing we learn is most people tend to address this almost reactively after they see their pet itching or when the weather gets warm and they perceive the threat to be worse. But the fact of the matter is the threat is truly year-round. While activity might not be as much during the high season in the summer for the fleas and ticks, they still are present, and your pets still are at risk. So the best way to protect your pet and your family is through a regimented year-round campaign of prevention.
Well, that sounds very good for being a responsible pet owner. Okay, now let's talk about something fun. Adams has a great contest coming up. So, or actually, I think it's ongoing right now. Can you tell our listeners
It
about
is.
that?
Yeah, so it's called the Smart Pets Contest. It's really exciting. We are searching America for the smartest pet. So very easy to enter. Just go to smarterpetcare.com and you can upload a photo and a brief description or a video of your smart pet story telling us why your pet should win. And we're going to be giving away a smart car or $15,000 in cash at the end of the summer.
Oh, wonderful. Now, does the video have to show your dog or cat being smart, or just a video, or give us a little hint here?
Yeah, sure. No. So the idea is we're looking for the best story, right? In what way? There are so many different ways to be smart, right? No one is better than the other. And just we're looking, people across the country have already shared over 300 entries on why their pets are smart. And I'm telling you, it is really exciting to see how much people have engaged in this program. There's a full list of details and exactly what we're looking for on the website, so I'd refer people to that, www.smarterpetcare.com, for information on exactly what we're looking for. But as you peruse some of the entries on the site, you'll see it's a very broad gamut of what defines smart, and that's exactly what we were hoping to see. We think there's a lot of ways for people to be smart. There's a lot of ways for pets to be smart, and so I think spending some time on the site to see, review the details on the contest and also see some of the other entries that folks have submitted will help paint that picture for people interested in joining. It really is, the idea is there's a ton of ways for pets to be smart, and we're celebrating that with this contest.
Oh, wonderful. Well, good luck, everyone. Josh, we've talked mostly about dogs with regards to fleas and ticks, but fleas and ticks affect cats too, don't they?
That's correct. And in fact, being a cat owner myself, I can tell you that I still have to protect my beloved Gibson every month just to make sure he isn't at risk with fleas and ticks as well.
Isn't it true, even if you have an indoor cat, like in my test crew, there's an indoor cat, but the dogs are in and out, they're outside for their walks and mostly around the area, but they are, they're out there. Can't the fleas and ticks travel from a dog to a cat?
Very easily. It's a great point, Michelle. Not only can the fleas and ticks travel from a dog to a cat, but they could be in your home, in your carpet, in the pet's bedding for a lot of different reasons and transfer. Or, perhaps we've had reports from a lot of folks that it's not always your pets that are bringing the fleas and ticks to you. It's sometimes your neighbors or your friends' pets. So again, the actual threat in many cases is very different from the perceived threat. So it's always better to just take the extra precaution, be preventative. There is a risk no matter what the perceived threat is, and protect your pets and your family.
Okay, perfect. Wonderful. That is great news. Josh, thank you so much for all this great info. Now, can you give us a little hint? Is there anything new Adams is coming out with?
Yes, I'm glad you asked, Michelle. We just recently launched a new Adams Plus Spot-On product. We're really excited about this one. It's available primarily in pet specialty channels, but we've kind of completed our portfolio of Adams Plus products now with the Spot-On, and we think it's really a great solution to meet flea and tick control needs. Not only that, but we also recently won a Product of the Year award for our Adams Home Spray. So this product kills bed bugs, contains Infestop, which I mentioned earlier, and a slew of other bugs. Just a great product to have around the house for when you see that creepy crawly critter on the wall and you don't want to touch it. You can get rid of it with this home spray. So 2 exciting new product launches this year from the Adams brand as well.
Oh, thank you. They sound wonderful. Now, where can my listeners find out more about Adams?
To find out more about the products, adamspetcare.com is the website. If you're interested in learning more about the contest, then it's smarterpetcare.com.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for coming on Best Bets for Pets and sharing with my listeners the importance of flea and tick control and about the Smart Pet Contest.
My pleasure. Thank you.
I'd like to thank my guest, Josh Nelson of Adams Pet Care, for telling us all about how to protect our little fur babies, big fur babies, and, our human babies, and how to protect everybody from fleas and ticks, and not only the irritation and annoyance, but the harmfulness that these insects can cause. And I would like to thank my crew who was so happy to participate in trying out Adams Pet Care products for fleas and ticks. Mr. Z, Nikki, and Dennis. they actually really didn't mind they love the new applicator. Mr. Z always gets scared, he gets scared of everything, but he really didn't mind this applicator because it just, I don't know, maybe it didn't shock him as much. He's a scaredy cat, what can I say? Scaredy dog, rather. And I'd like to thank my producer, Mark Winter, for making me and my guests sound great, and for all you listeners, thanks for listening so much. It's so appreciated. Thanks so much for listening. Keep checking. We have more shows posting all the time.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.